The old cabin stood alone, a solitary figure amidst the vast expanse of white. It was nestled deep within the snowy embrace of Mount Bachelor, Oregon, a place where time seemed to stand still. Towering pines cast long, skeletal shadows across the snow, their branches heavy with the weight of winter. The air was heavy with the silence of winter, a silence that seemed to stretch on forever. A silence so profound it felt almost alive, as if the forest itself was holding its breath. The year was 2010, a year that would forever be etched in Daniel's memory. 17-year-old Daniel had inherited the cabin from his father, a man who had always found solace in the solitude of the mountain. His father, a man who found solace in the solitude of the mountain, was gone now, leaving behind a legacy of quiet strength and resilience. Daniel had loved his dad dearly, cherishing every moment they had spent together in this very cabin. He missed him with every fiber of his being, the pain of his absence, a constant ache in his heart. Daniel had decided to spend a few days at the cabin before selling it, hoping to reconnect with the memories of his father. He brought along his faithful black Labrador, Midnight, a loyal companion who had been with him through thick and thin. Midnight was more than just a pet. He was Daniel's confidant, his protector, his best friend, always by his side. He needed that comforting presence now more than ever, as he navigated the emotional landscape of his grief. The cabin was a rustic sanctuary, a place where the past and present seemed to merge. It was filled with memories of his father, each corner echoing with the laughter and love they had shared. The scent of pine and wood smoke lingered in the air, a bittersweet reminder of happier times, of evenings spent by the fire. Daniel hoped to find some closure, some peace in the heart of his father's sanctuary, a place where he could say goodbye and hold on to the memories that mattered most. The first day passed in a blur of unpacking and reminiscing. Daniel found his father's favorite fishing rod propped up in the corner. He ran his hand over the worn leather grip, tears welling in his eyes. His father's presence was everywhere. Nightfall came quickly. The fire crackled in the hearth, casting dancing shadows on the log walls. Daniel curled up on the old leather sofa. Midnight lay at his feet, his warm body a comforting weight against Daniel's trembling legs. Sleep was elusive that night. The wind howled outside like a mournful spirit. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of branches against the windows sent shivers down Daniel's spine. He wasn't used to being alone like this. His father had taught him how to survive in the wilderness. He knew how to hunt, how to build a fire, how to read the signs of the forest. But tonight, the forest felt different. It felt menacing and ominous. The next morning dawned bright and clear, the kind of morning that seemed to promise a fresh start. The sky was a brilliant blue and the air was crisp and invigorating. The snow sparkled under the sunlight, creating a dazzling display that was almost blinding in its beauty. The sun glinted off the snow, momentarily chasing away the shadows of the night. It was as if the world had been washed clean, ready for a new beginning. The forest, blanketed in white, looked like a scene from a postcard, serene and untouched. Daniel stepped outside, his breath forming clouds in the frigid air. He felt the cold bite at his cheeks, but it was a welcome sensation, a reminder that he was alive and present in this moment. He took a deep breath, trying to shake off the unease that had plagued him through the night. The cold air filled his lungs, sharp and invigorating, and he felt a small measure of calm settle over him. The beauty of the mountains was breathtaking. The peaks rose majestically against the clear sky, their snow-covered slopes glistening in the sunlight. It was a sight that never failed to awe him, no matter how many times he saw it. He could understand why his father had loved it here. The mountains had a way of making everything else seem insignificant, their grandeur putting life's troubles into perspective. He spent the day exploring the woods around the cabin. The forest was a place of quiet solitude, where the only sounds were the crunch of his boots on the snow and the occasional rustle of a bird in the trees. He followed the winding path his father had cleared, the path that led to a small frozen creek. The creek was a special place, a spot where he and his father had spent countless hours together. He could almost hear his father's voice, teaching him how to ice fish, how to tell the age of a tree. Those lessons had been more than just skills. They had been moments of bonding, of connection. The silence of the forest was broken only by the crunch of his boots on the snow and the occasional chirp of a bird. It was a peaceful silence, one that allowed him to think and reflect. He felt a sense of peace wash over him. It was a feeling he hadn't experienced in a long time, a sense of being exactly where he was meant to be. Maybe this trip wasn't such a bad idea after all. He had been hesitant to come, but now he was glad he had. The mountains, the forest, the memories of his father. They were all helping him heal. As evening approached, Daniel returned to the cabin, his heart lighter than it had been in days. The setting sun cast a warm glow over the snow, and the cabin looked inviting, a place of warmth and comfort. He built a fire, cooked a simple meal, and settled in for the night. The warmth of the fire and the simplicity of the meal were comforting, grounding him in the present. He felt a glimmer of hope. It was a small, fragile thing, but it was there. A spark that could grow into something more. Maybe he could find peace here after all. The mountains, the forest, the memories, they were all part of the healing process, helping him find his way back to himself. The following day, Daniel decided to venture further into the woods. The previous day's exploration had only fueled his curiosity, and he felt a strange pull towards the heart of the forest. He wanted to reach the clearing his father had called Inspiration Point. It was a place of legend in his family, a sanctuary where his father found solace and creativity. It was a place where his father went to think, to write, to simply be. Daniel had heard countless stories about the tranquility and inspiration his father drew from this secluded spot. He opened the cabin door to let midnight out. His blood ran cold. The crisp morning air hit his face, but it wasn't the chill that made him shiver. There in the fresh snow were footprints. They were unmistakable, clear as day, and they sent a jolt of fear through him. Large, heavy footprints that hadn't been there the day before. Each step was deeply imprinted, suggesting someone or something of considerable weight. They led from the edge of the woods towards the cabin, stopping just a few feet from the porch. The path they traced was direct and deliberate. Daniel's heart pounded in his chest. He felt a mix of fear and curiosity, his mind racing with possibilities. He told himself it was probably just a hiker or maybe a park ranger. But the size and depth of the footprints made him doubt his own reassurances, but a shiver of fear ran down his spine. The forest, usually a place of peace, now felt ominous and foreboding. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching him. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig seemed amplified in the silence of the snow-covered woods. He quickly retreated back inside, locking the door behind him. The safety of the cabin walls provided little comfort against the unknown lurking outside. He tried to rationalize the footprints. Maybe it was just a trick of the light, or perhaps the snow had distorted the tracks. He told himself it was nothing to worry about, yet the unease gnawed at him, refusing to be dismissed. But the image of those heavy prints, so close to the cabin, lingered in his mind. They were a silent reminder that he was not alone in these woods. As the sun began to set, the forest was bathed in a golden glow. The trees cast long, eerie shadows on the ground. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the dense foliage. At first glance, it was hard to tell if it was human or something else entirely. The figure moved slowly, almost deliberately, as if it was aware of being watched. The air grew thick with tension, and the forest seemed to hold its breath. What could this mysterious figure want? And more importantly, who or what was it? As the night deepens, an eerie silence blankets the forest. Suddenly, an unearthly howl pierces the stillness, sending shivers down the spine. Fear grips the hearts of those within, as they realize something sinister lurks outside. With the windows boarded and the doors locked, the cabin becomes both a sanctuary and a prison. Every creak and groan of the old wood seems amplified, each sound a reminder of the lurking terror. They huddle together, eyes wide with dread, knowing that escape is not an option. As the first light of dawn breaks through the trees, hope flickers. With cautious steps, they make their way out, the cabin behind them now a shadowy memory. The forest, once a place of beauty, now feels like a maze of dangers. They move quickly, every second precious, driven by the need to survive. Years later, the cabin is sold, its dark past hidden beneath a veneer of normalcy. But for those who lived through that night, the memories remain. A life haunted by what transpired, forever changed by the terror that once descended upon them.